Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Dover International Speedway. This is round number 3 for the Fast Action Racing Series, the Short Track Thunder Series, and we currently have 8 drivers on tap for you guys today. These drivers are going to take to this monster mile for 125 laps. And let me tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, we may only have about 8 drivers in session today, but these guys are going to put on one hell of a show just for you guys here today. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's head trackside and take a look and see who all has arrived today. Let's go ahead and go here. As always, ladies and gentlemen, we have the number 87 Lucky Strike Toyota, driven by the one, the only Lucas Edwards. He's currently second on our charts. And hiding behind the wall now is the 54 of Joseph Nelson. We'll get back to him here in just a moment. We have everyone's favorite Canadian, the nicest Canadian you will ever meet, Chris Roberge in that number 9 Monster Energy Chevrolet. Keegan Browning in that number 53 Mobile 1 Toyota, as they get a little contact coming out of turn number 4 there. Our favorite co-worker, Jeff Engel in that number 89 Turner Chevrolet. Cody Majoric, he is rocking a new paint scheme in that number 74 SDP Oil Ford Mustang. Joseph Nelson, he's back out on track. He's driving the number 54 M&M's Toyota. And we are still awaiting Dan Atkins to get back on track. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, here's someone who we haven't seen yet. Jordan Martin in that number 13 Miller Lights Ford. Oh, hard impact there out of turn 2. All right, so I don't think I like that. I don't think I like that view. All right, so this is what we're going to do here, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like annoying a couple drivers. So let's go ahead and get Jordan Martin down here. Jordan Martin, this is Mike up at the booth. You got a copy? Oh, my dude, you are very, very quiet. Oh, wait, hang on. That might be on my end. I was in somebody's Discord earlier, and I had to crank them all the way down. All right, let's try that again.
Is that better now?
Oh, that's a lot better. Jordan, how are you doing today, my man?
I'm good. How are you, bud?
I'm doing pretty good. How's that Miller Lite number 13 treating you today so far?
It's not feeling too bad. I think we got a shot anytime we show up. So got to figure it out a little bit more. Ain't run a whole lot of practice laps. But I think I'll be okay.
Perfect, perfect. Do you think you have a shot to bring it home for a win today?
Anytime I'm on the track, I got a shot.
Hell yeah, I like that attitude. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and let Jordan get back up to it. Good luck today out there.
Thanks.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and bring another guy down who we all love to hear from.
Oh,
Hey, Jeffy, you got somebody behind you wrecking you.
yeah, I know. That was I call him Old Dirty Joe, Old Jordan Martin.
Jeffrey, driver of the number 89. Uh, what are you in, a Chevrolet? What's your thoughts
Yes,
about
sir.
tonight's race, and what do you look forward to the most?
Well, I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing the checkered flag this time. It's been a while since I've seen checkered flag in a league race, it seems like, here in my other league as well. But, man, as far as track conditions and how the race is going to go, I feel like, from practice, a little bit of track time that I've got here so far, it tightens up real quick. It's a little too tight. I want to be able to sling the rear end out a little bit, coming off the corner, let it drift out a little bit, really catch that grip and hook and take off. And it's not really got that here like, most other cars have here at Dover, but it's going to be interesting to see how we do with tire wear, because a lot of people were talking about tire wear, and it's just the tires are, after about a 40 lap run, they're already down to about 30-some%. So we're looking at pretty substantial tire wear rapidly, it seems like, versus other races. So it's going to be interesting to see who can manage their tires well, see who can manage their tires long enough for possibly close to something, go the furthest on their fuel run.
Hey, we're about to find out.
Well, that's what I'm going to try to test out a little bit here and get some data here.
Beautiful.
Hopefully we'll put on a good show for the folks tonight, though, out there watching.
Absolutely. Alrighty, Jeff, I'm going to go ahead and throw you back up. Good luck out there tonight, buddy.
All right, thanks, man. I'm still available for in-race reporting.
Hell yeah. And if, for whatever odd reason, if you do get wrecked out, brother, you're more than welcome to come up here and keep me company.
I'm definitely going to, during that caution that I end up in,
Yeah,
hopefully
buddy.
not, I'm definitely going to jump up there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like I said, you're always welcome to join me. All right, I'll let
Awesome.
you get back to it, Jeff. Thank you so much for joining us, and good luck out there, buddy.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, driver of the number 89 Chevrolet, Jeffrey Engel. Now I'm going to go ahead and try to snag the driver of the number 53, a Mobile One Toyota of Keegan Browning. Keegan Browning, this is Mike Taylor up in the booth. Do you got a copy?
I do.
Keegan. So we are starting to work, race number 5 or 6 for you with FARS? And how you feeling tonight?
Well, it's a good track. Cars are very tight. So, if I can keep the front tires under me, it should be a good night.
Oh yeah. And if you just freaking leave me alone, Mike, I can actually drive. All right, but yeah, I'm just pulling you down for a quick interview. See how you're doing. See how the car's feeling. What you feeling about your chances tonight to get a good, strong finish?
I felt good last week. Had a little bumper run that put me back. Finished 5th still, so I mean, as long as I could keep the focus down, this 125 laps. As long as I don't get tight and knock my toe out, I should be pretty good.
Beautiful. Alrighty, Keegan, I'm gonna go ahead and bring you back up there, brother. Good luck out there tonight.
All right, thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the driver of the number 53, Mobile One. Oh, that was close. Toyota of Keegan Browning. Let's bring down everybody's favorite Canadian, Chris Roberge. Chris Roberge, do you got a copy, sir?
Yes, I do.
Everybody's favorite Canadian, the nicest Canadian in town. How are you doing today, Chris?
I'm doing all right today.
All right, so everybody out here is asking, when is Roberge gonna get that first win? And can it happen today here at Dover? We know you're fast everywhere you go. But could tonight be the night?
Don't know yet. We'll see how well they save tires. I probably will save my tires here. Um, and just trying to keep up in front as much as I could. And hopefully I could get one.
Absolutely. Well, I'm definitely secretly up here rooting for you, buddy. You're getting close, so close, and I feel it in one of these upcoming races. I think you're going to get it done, Chris.
It will come.
It will come, all
Hopefully it
right.
does come today because today's the year of my half brother's birthday today. He's the one that passed away when he was 9 years old. That's how I got his number. Hopefully everyone be looking down and say, cheer me on.
Absolutely. Well, let's get this out running out here, and good luck to you out there tonight.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Chris Roberge in that number 9 Monster Energy Chevrolet. Joseph Nelson was able to put himself on top of the charts in that number 54 M&M's Toyota. Let's go ahead and see what we can do about getting Joseph down here. Joseph, do you got a copy, sir?
Hello.
Hey, Joseph, how you doing today, boss man?
Good, man. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. This is Mike up in the booth. So right now, currently, man, you are on top of the leaderboard with a 22.71. How's your car feeling? And everybody's been talking about tires. Are you going to be able to manage tires today?
Yeah, no, I really like the qualifying speed. I'm a little bit more concerned about race pace. Tires are at the top of my, things that I'm worried about because I feel like it's gonna decide this race. It's cool to be able to, run a fast lap, but can I run consistent laps and not wear my tires out is what I'm really focused on.
Awesome, awesome. So, I mean, you're out there running pretty quick. You're usually pretty quick every time you do come out. So, we're looking forward to seeing what you can do today here at Dover and see if you can conquer the monster.
All right, man. Thank you. Wish me luck.
Yes, wish you a lot of luck, ladies and gentlemen. That's Joseph Nelson, the number 54 M&M's Toyota. I think I caught him a little bit off guard there. So, I do apologize about that. All right. Brad Quall, Cody Majork. Yeah, let's see what we can do about getting Cody Majork down here. Cody Majork, do you got a copy, sir?
What up, buddy?
Cody, I just first want to say, man, I am absolutely loving that paint scheme of that SCP paint. How are you feeling today? What are your thoughts about Dover? And a lot of people are talking about tires. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, it's definitely a very tight setup. It's with this with the old car, it was a little bit freer, and you'd be more on the right rear. With this one, you're really gonna have to protect your right front. It's gonna be a tire management race of how you're going to push and how you're gonna save because it's a tight setup. It's probably the tightest setup I can remember ever running in one of these cars here. So it'll be interesting to see who's there at the end. Just because you got qualifying speed don't mean you're going to have long run speed here as far as pace goes. And we don't have a big field tonight, so I don't expect that to be a big caution deal. Um, so if you got to go long green flag runs, you definitely don't want to be the guy that burns your tires off.
Absolutely. Alrighty, Cody, I'll go ahead and let you go so you can get out on track for qualifying. Good luck out there tonight.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the driver, the number 74 machine. He's going to be out here trying to come back with another win. As we take a look here at Jordan Martin, unfortunately, he did bump the wall there. So this lap will not count. But let's go ahead and pull up your standings currently, Nelson uh, changed that. Jordan Martin, he just put down a quick time of a 22.89. Joseph Nelson put down a lap time of a 22.90. Joseph Nelson put down a lap time of 22.86. What a decent lap there for him. As you see Jordan Martin have a little bit of fun there. Cody Majoric in his number 74 STP Ford Mustang coming out turn number 2 down this back straightaway. He is looking to better his time of a 22.84. Can he do it? He puts down a lap time. He's a little bit slower on that time. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Atkins in that number 91 machine puts down a lap time of a 22.80. Really good lap time there for Dan Atkins. A little bit slower on this one. Lucas Edwards. He's coming out of turn number 4 for his final 2 laps. That will put him third fastest with a 22.86. Cody Majoric puts that currently up on the pole with a 22.79. Let's see if Lucas Edwards can put it back up there. .95 was the best that he could do that last lap. Chris Roberge, he's still coming down here into turns number 3 and 4, getting ready to take the white or the. Oh, he still has 2 to go. 2 more laps. That was good enough for a 23.11. As he dives down here, going through 3 and 4. And he will get the white flag this time. Let's see if he can put down a better lap time. And that lap time was a 23.45. Okay, so that was his final lap, so he'll go ahead and bring it down. And as always, we have one driver who did not qualify, and that was Brad Qualls Sr. He has this tendency to show up and not qualify. He shows up, doesn't qualify, doesn't practice. He says, race what you brung. How it goes is how it goes. And last week, that worked out for Brad very well because he was able to avoid the carnage and finish in third place. The best finish for Brad Qualls Sr. last week was that third place finish. But that's just how he rolls. I don't know why, but he does absolutely amazing. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and hide that, do that. And while we are waiting for this to populate here, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and take a look. Not much information, unfortunately, here for you today. But we are taking a look here at your track facts. We are here at Dover Motor Speedway. Right here in Dover, Delaware. This track is a 1-mile racetrack. It is a high-speed track. It is concrete. This is AKA Bristol on steroids. That is the absolute best way to describe this speedway. Ew, I don't like that. You know, while we're waiting, might as well just run through these, see which ones I like. No, I don't like that. Don't like that one either. That one's too blah. Okay, we're gonna stick with the baseline. Yeah, let's stick with the baseline. I like the baseline. So you got a 1 mile high banked concrete monster. He's fast. He's wicked. Produces great racing here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take this track on for 125 laps for the concrete 125. We are absolutely excited to get this thing underway here, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so we have just about 2.5 minutes now remaining here in qualifying. So we're just going to chill out here for just a couple moments. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, your cars are now lining up down on pit road. So let's go ahead and take a look here. Ignore that logo. Here for your starting lineup for the Fast Action Racing Series Short Track Thunder Series right here for the Concrete 125 at Dover. Sitting on the pole is Cody Majork in that number 74 STP machine, followed by Dan Atkins in that number 91. Lucas Edwards in that number 87. He will be starting in that third spot. Joseph Nelson in that number 54 machine starting on the outside of row number 2. On the inside of row number 3, you have Jordan Martin and Jeffrey Engel on the outside. Inside row number 4, you have Chris Roberge and Keegan Browning on the outside. And then rounding out our field is going to be none other than Brad Quall Sr. in that number 31 machine. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for some high-speed, thrilling action right here at Dover. Do not let this 9-car field fool you, as we already have somebody up in the wall in that number 53 machine, Keegan Browning, trying to warm up his tires here just a little bit. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are waiting for Fred to pull down that pace car down onto pit road. Here he is down on pit road, and it is now in the hands of our flagman, Barney. Get ready, ladies and gentlemen. We are green flag racing right here at Dover. We go, ladies and gentlemen. On the outside, Dan Atkins has a pretty good run here on Cody Majork as they drag race down the back straightaway. As now, Dan Atkins, your defending champion, he will pull out to the front here to lead the first lap. But here comes your pole sitter of Majork, not giving up just yet. And Lucas Edwards, he is just like a viper. He is waiting for the right moment to pounce. Side by side here for second on on Cody Majork, as he's looking to now to go. Ow! Sorry. Lucas Edwards gets around Cody Majork in that number 74 machine, and now he sets his eyes up on the defending champ of Dan Atkins. But here comes Joseph Nelson in that number 54 machine right behind him, as everybody now is running single file as they come out of turn number 4. It is going to be all about tire management here at Dover. And let's go ahead and take a look at our weather. And this is going to play a big role. It's 73 degrees out with a wind speed to the northeast of 9 miles per hour. So that's going to make a huge difference on how these cars handle. As you see here, Lucas Edwards still right on the back bumper of Dan Atkins. These two drivers, Dan Atkins, Lucas Edwards, both put on a phenomenal show last year, or for the last season, I should say. And so far, it looks like they're going to do it just the same this season in the ARCA Series cars. Remember last season, these drivers were alternating between the NASCAR Cup, or the NASCAR Xfinity, and the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series vehicles. But this season, they are doing short tracks in the ARCA Series, 1 mile and less. And so far here, ladies and gentlemen, nobody is really pulling away as of yet. But as this race goes on, I am going to start anticipating that we will start to see some drivers start to slip as we watch the field here. It looks like Joseph Nelson, he's starting to make a move, but here comes Keegan Browning in that number 53 Mobile 1 machine. He started to look there for a second as the 54 Joseph Nelson, he now looks to the inside of Cody Majork. Still side by side out of turn number 2 as they now dive back down into 3. Joseph Nelson, he will go ahead and just go back in line behind Cody Majork so that he could possibly start saving some of his tires. Saving tires is going to be absolutely crucial here at Dover as Joseph Nelson looks back to the inside of Majork, and they are now side by side in through 3 and 4, and now they're going to drag race down the front straightaway, but Majork just has that better momentum on the outside coming out of the corners. And here comes Keegan Browning looking to the inside of Nelson, but he will not be able to make a move. And here comes Chris Roberge to the inside of Browning now, as he will easily complete the pass and he will take over that 5th spot. Back here, taking a look here at Brad Quall Sr. in that Hulu Chevrolet, as they come out here out of turn number 2. Jordan Martin in that number 13 Miller Lite Ford has fallen back to 8th, and Jeffrey Engel in that number 89 machine, he's fallen all the way to last place. As he said, he's just going to bide his time at this point and try to just finish the race. And right now, that is something that Jeffrey Engel absolutely needs. Back up here for the race lead. Both of these drivers doing pretty well, staying pretty even now in their lap times. That they're not really like pushing the issue, as we are only just about 13-14 laps in. Their times are already just about 1 second off pace, so that just shows how much, you know, tire grip means here at Dover. With there only being 9 drivers on track, we are anticipating a very long green flag run. So these drivers, they are only running on just about 60% fuel tanks. And so these guys are going to make probably at least 2 pit stops in this race. And the question is, when do they need to come in? And will it be 2 or 4 tires? Ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, that is the absolute question now. The top 4 now separated, top 3 is now only separated by just about a second of each other, as they start to pull away from the rest of the field. And Dan Atkins, he is now starting to pull just a little bit now away from Lucas Edwards. And as I say that, Lucas Edwards gets right back onto his back bumper. We're going to jump back here to Keegan Browning and Chris Roberge. These two are starting to run heavy, trying to start swapping positions here as things now settle down back here for these drivers. We're going to come back out front here. Take a look at your front 4 or 5 drivers. All right, Dan Atkins, he has now pulled out to just almost a half a second gap between himself and Lucas Edwards. But right behind Dan Atkins, Lucas Edwards and Cody Majork are battling out. And here comes Cody Majork onto the inside, looking to make that pass. Cody Majork has been very strong all season long. He came home with a win last week, and he is looking to repeat again this week. But as of right now, that inside line just seems like it is not the lane to be. Some of these drivers having a really tough time now getting it sorted out around the inside. So now we know these drivers are going to have to go high side, but Cody, that's a little too high there, buddy. We don't want to be all the way up there against the wall. But that was a good recovery there by Cody Majork in order to bring that car back down towards the apex. Lucas Edwards out of Westerly, Rhode Island, still doing his best to hold off Cody Majork. But here comes Majork once again to the inside as they come out of turn number 2. And they are still running side by side down in turn number 3. This time Edwards goes really high in turns 3 and 4, but he just continues to shoot down the front straightaway with that momentum. But Majork, he's not giving up that inside lane just yet. As they come almost touch out of 2, but they will get themselves sorted out as Joseph Nelson in that number 54 M&M's Toyota is now on the back bumper of Cody Majork. 1 1/4 second now lead for defending champion Dan Atkins. As they come out here out of turn number 2, we're watching this battle here for second, which is an absolute great battle. And here comes Joseph Nelson. He's still not letting these second and third place get away because he still wants to be in this fight as well. Cody Majork once again attacking on that inside, and he is still not able to make it stick, but he can run about 2 or 3 corners to the inside. But then Edwards, he's just still able to continue to pull away here. Majork running Edwards up the track a little bit that time. I think that was a smart move there by Majork. Take away. Let me rephrase that. Not take away. He hits the wall hard out of turn number 2 that time, and he will lose not only second but third as well. So that was a really hard hit there by Cody Majork out of turn number 2, as he scuffs the wall just a little bit there once again on the exit of turn 4. That is going to absolutely hurt the performance out of Majork's STP Ford Mustang. So that is going to be very hard, and we're going to see how well that car will handle now for the remainder of this run as they come out of turn 4. So far, it's not looking too shabby for him. Let's go ahead and ride on board with him here. See just about where that wheel sits. It's actually not turned that too bad. Yeah, that's just about right for this track. Let's go ahead and let's move up one position here. And let's see where Joseph Nelson's wheel is. Yeah, so that impact may not have hurt Cody Majork as much as we thought it very well may. As you see Majork now attacking the inside of Nelson out of turn 4. Still unable to get the job done as Nelson goes down and blocks him down on the entrance of 1 and 2. And here he comes once again to that attack. He's got to be nice and easy here. He doesn't want to come trying to force it out of the corner like he did and slam that wall again, because next time it could spell disaster for him. But as of right now, he's getting himself right around Nelson with no problem now as they dive back down into turn number 3, and Nelson decided that he might have wanted to take a little look there, but he's going to go ahead and just settle back behind Majork. The battle for third place is heating up. What an incredible run so far for both of these drivers here. They things are now settling down throughout the field. Cody Majoric is starting to pull away from Joseph Nelson. Lucas Edwards starting to pull away from Cody Majoric. And Dan Atkins, he's pulling away from Lucas Edwards. The last couple laps, Chris Roberge has been slowly reeling in that number 54 machine of Joseph Nelson, so he's been able to manage his tires probably a little bit better here. So it's not going to be too much longer here before Chris Roberge is going to be on the back bumper of Joseph Nelson, so only time here will tell. Come back up here to Lucas Edwards, Cody Majoric, and Joseph Nelson. The battle for second is now a 3-driver race. And the person who is absolutely loving this the most is Dan Atkins in that number 91 machine. And here comes Majoric trying to get onto the inside of Edwards once again. As he goes and makes the move, as they come out of turn 4, they will run side by side down the front straightaway. And this is back to where Majoric was at the start before he pounded the wall outside of turn number 2. He is running side by side with Edwards. And what Majoric should do is run Edwards up the track just a little bit so that he can also have a good run out of these corners. And that time Edwards goes way wide, and now he will be running side by side and hard into the wall with Joseph Nelson. Joseph Nelson not wanting to take the spot away like that. He will back out and allow Edwards to get back out in front. And that is just the type of drivers this league is. If there is an issue like that, the drivers, they will usually like 98% of the time back out and let that driver once again regain control of their vehicle, and they will turn up the heat once again. So this race for third is not over. He is just allowing Joseph get some time under his belt with that damage, with that new damage, but just give him time. He will be back on the attack very shortly. I want to come back out here to your race leader of Dan Atkins out of Milford, Indiana. He is putting on an incredible show. Nice and easy here for Dan Atkins. As we fall back to Cody Majoric here in second in that number 74 machine. He is having a really good run so far. It looks like these drivers are starting to fall off of their pace. They are now just about 1.5 seconds off their fastest lap. And we have been green flagged this whole entire time as they are working lap number 47. And they will have just about 78 laps to go this time by. So this race time is ticking down relatively quick. These guys are putting 22-second lap times down. So at this rate, it's not going to take too long to run this race. So this is going to be an absolute awesome race to watch. As of right now, you know, they are single file, but we do have pit stops approaching. So the question is, how long are they willing to go before they need to pit? They are now working lap 48, coming to lap 49. And Jeff Engel in that number 89 machine is the first car to go one lap down, as they keep putting good, decent lap downs. So something I haven't really mentioned here, as we see Engel get hard into the outside wall out of turn number 2, is getting on and off pit road here is one of the hardest pit roads to get on and off on. The entry, you've got to be so precise. You don't want to be right on that, you know, the banking difference between the apron and the racetrack in the corner, because at this point here, you're going to want to be down on the apron, slowing down, as you see Cody Majork now flying around the outside of Engel, and here comes Lucas Edwards doing the same. But as I was saying here, ladies and gentlemen, another hard impact there for Jeff Engel. Jeff, stop driving it so hard down into the corners, my man. Nice and easy getting out of these corners, and here comes Joseph Nelson and Chris Roberge. These two drivers are now battling out here for that fourth spot. And here comes Chris Roberge to the attack on the inside, and then now they are going to drag race down this front straightaway. Jeff Engel is coming down pit road now to get service on his machine. He has had a couple hard hits into that outside wall, so he's probably coming down to get repairs, as we see the crossover by Joseph Nelson on Roberge. That was a beautiful crossover there as they came out turn number 2 that last time, but it's going to be Chris Roberge out on top for the moment, and he will take over that 4th spot. Side by side once again as they enter turn number 1 and 2. Joseph Nelson wants that spot, and he will get it as Roberge bounces off the turn 2 wall. And Nelson, he will run high, then arc back down to that bottom lane. So Jeffrey Engel just spent 54 seconds down on pit lane total, but he was sitting in his pits possibly for an extra 3 seconds, getting a little bit of that damage repaired, as you see Joseph going up right up towards the outside wall and arc it back down towards the concrete at the bottom. So this is a very interesting move here on Nelson's part, but this just very well be what he needs to make it happen and to start pulling away from Roberge and start gaining back on Lucas Edwards, as there is just about a 5.5 second difference between himself and Lucas Edwards in that number 3 spot, but he is definitely now pulling away from Chris Roberge. Our next driver down on pit road is going to be that number 53 Mobile One driver of Keegan Browning. He is now down here on pit road. So pit road stuff starting to happen right around lap 60 with our first driver coming down on lap 52. And Keegan Browning, he will now go ahead and pull out of the pits. Lucas Edwards in that number 87, he's going to go ahead and march it down on pit road. Oh, Brad Quall Sr. in that number 31 machine. He must have hit the wall hard as he... Oh, the 74 of Cody Majoric had major issues. Oh, that is unfortunate for your second place runner. Let's go back, take a look here, and see what happened. As you will see, the 31 coming down, and then Majoric decided he's going to go ahead and come down pit road. He locked it up and he hit those barriers, and that absolutely destroyed the front end of that car. That is absolutely heartbreaking for Cody Majoric in that number 74 machine. As I said, this track is one of the hardest tracks to get on pit road on, and unfortunately Cody Majoric had to find that out there as well. And let's go back here and take a look and see if we can see what happened to Brad Quall Sr. I believe it possibly happened out of turn 4. No, you guys did not miss much. So, what happened with the number 31 of Brad Quall Sr. is he blew a tire. As you see Chris Roberge finally coming down pit road. Nice and easy here. Chris Roberge, he now has a flat tire that he needs to come down pit road to get taken care of. So when these drivers do pull down into the pits, there's a possibility that they're running on pretty much nothing. And that's what has happened to two of our drivers. Cody Majoric, unfortunate. You know, he hit the wall pretty heavy coming out of, or coming into the pits. And that transition just absolutely killed him there. Currently a 3-second gap between Dan Atkins, Lucas Edwards, and then it goes back to just about 12 seconds back from Edwards to Joseph Nelson, who is possibly on the cusp of going a lap down, as these guys here are still whipping around this speedway. Dan Atkins continuing to put down a lot of laps up front here with 66 laps to go. There's no other driver out there that can lead any more laps. So with that being said, Dan Atkins, he should get some bonus points for leading the most laps here, as those laps continue to grow. These drivers, they pushed it to the absolute last second to pit. These drivers, they will have to pit at least one more time for tires before this thing is over. So ultimately, the question is going to be, can they or should they come down early and bite the bullet, or do they want to wait and pit closer to lap? Actually, I am doing my calculations. I think these drivers can make it on fuel. I believe Jordan Martin can absolutely make it the rest of the way. Dan Atkins, he should be able to make it the rest of the way. So ultimately, the question it will be, how hard are these drivers going to be on these tires? And, oh, as we have two cars make heavy contact with the wall there, that being Dan Atkins and Jordan Martin in that number 13 Miller Lite machine right behind him. They both hit the wall pretty hard coming out of turn 2. Joseph Nelson in that number 54 M&M's Toyota, he needs to start paying attention because there is a fast charging Dan Atkins coming his way. It's just going to be a matter of time before Dan Atkins comes knocking on his door, as there's just about a 3-second gap now between Atkins and third place of Joseph Nelson. Let's come back here and take a look here at Lucas Edwards in that number 87 Toyota. He is doing a really good job at the moment. You know, he's losing time on Atkins, but it's very, very slow. So these drivers, the last few laps, they have ran just about the same lap times as each other. Let's right on board here with your race leader. Just to give you guys a general idea of how banked this track is, as you see, as he comes out of turn 4 heading down this straightaway, this car does not go level again at all until just about you get back down onto that apron to come into the pits. Jordan Martin once again hard into that outside wall on the exit of turn 2. That was a very hard hit there, but here comes Chris Roberge. He's starting to looking to put pressure on Jordan Martin here as they come out of turn 2 for the 4th spot. Just because these guys are a lap down, that doesn't mean they're done racing, because they still got racing to do to figure out who's going to get them in 4th. And it looks like Chris Roberge is going to attempt to take that run on the outside. But he's got to be very careful, because Martin has been coming up and hitting that outside wall as Roberge does attack on the inside. And he will complete the pass in the middle of 3 and 4 and come out of turn 4 in front of Martin. So he will overtake for that number 4 spot. Now Chris Roberge, he is the one of the ones who stayed, he is the one who stayed out the longest. And so we know for a fact that he is good on fuel. So now we're just going to have to wait and see what happens here. As you see Chris Roberge now knocking on the back bumper of Jeffrey Engel here. Let's jump back out here to Dan Adkins, your race leader. So far, he has not gained at all on 3rd place of Joseph Nelson. So that gap between the two are pretty decent at the moment. So it's very, very likely that he may not be able to catch him to put him a lap down. But that still remains to be seen. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, this is the separation between 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Dan Adkins, he has Joseph Nelson in his sights. So he is still marching around this track, gonna try to put him a lap down before this thing is over, as we have just about 35 laps to go. Dan Adkins putting on a phenomenal show here at Dover, at the Munster Mile, at Bristol on steroids. Whatever you may call it, this is the Concrete 125 for the Fast Action Racing Series. They are running their first season of the Short Track Thunder Series. And this series consists of 1 mile and smaller tracks. We are even going to be going to the LA Coliseum later on in the season. And you can find all that right here on the iCast Racing Network. As they come out of, as Adke comes out of turn 2. And now he's sweeping around here in 3 and 4. He is slowly closing in that gap on 3rd place Joseph Nelson. So it's not going to be much longer here before Joseph Nelson will possibly go 1 lap down. And there you saw it right there, ladies and gentlemen. That is the separation. Let's go ahead and look out the front camera of your race leader, Dan Adkins. That car directly in front of him, that is your 3rd place driver, and Dan Adkins wheeling that race car phenomenally around this track. As you see right there, Joseph Nelson goes way, way high, and he has had to make adjustments and that's going to allow Dan Atkins to move just a little bit more closer towards him. The rest of this field is all spread out. Alright, looks like Jeffrey Engel has brought his number 89 machine down on the pit road. Let's go ahead and come back here and take a look here at Lucas Edwards. He's still cruising around this track. Yeah, he's just not having, good luck at running the same pace as Dan Atkins is in that number 91 machine, as they now have 24 laps to go this time by. So we are looking here probably just about 10 more minutes of racing, and it's going to be a lot to see what happens here in just those 10 brief minutes. But Dan Atkins so far is out to an 8-second lead on the rest of this field. That number 54 M&M's Toyota keeps getting bigger and bigger in the windshield of your race leader and defending champion Dan Atkins. I think he's going to see what he can do about actually putting him a lap down. As laps continue to wind down here, let's head over. Let's see here. Just checking out a couple things here for a quick moment. Ladies and gentlemen, we still have just about 18 laps remaining here for Dan Atkins. And while we are continuing to count down these lap times here, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to send out a big thank you to a couple of their sponsors. Quick. Unfortunately, I do not have the photos put into our stuff, but I do have them available. So first and foremost, we want to thank B&L Labor Services, Logan's Removal Solutions. We'd also like to thank Racing Paradise Podcast and Xbox One Esports Racing Community, covering leagues racing for championships. We would also like to thank SDK Gaming for all of their overlays that you see right here on your screen right now. That they are an absolute pleasure to work with, and they have helped me so much learn more and more about how these overlays work and coding. So definitely go check them out, and if you do like what you see there, you know, make sure you tell them that iCast Racing Network sent them your way. And we would also like to thank simracershub.com for what a fantastic and beautiful website that they built. It's for all of your racing statistic needs. It takes view of all your drivers, how many races everybody has won, top 5s, top 10s, it's the points, you name it, they have it there. So check them out. That is simracershub.com. So take a look at them for all of your league statistic needs. And we would also like to shout out the Major Series as well, as they are kicking off something brand new that is starting. If you are part of the Major Series, then you heard of simracingstewards.com. Please go check those out. They are bringing leagues and careful there. They are bringing leagues, you know, access to stewards that have been very well trained. And I am actually one of those stewards as well on simracingstewards.com. And for all of your, you know, questions on who's at fault, they will be answered right there on the simracingstewards.com website. We can help decide that as well. So that is something really huge going on there. As you see, Dan Atkins now coming out of turn number 2, as we are working with 8.5 laps to go this time by. Is he starting to wake up a little bit? Eight laps to go here for Dan Atkins in that number 91 Chevrolet. He has his eyes now set on Brad Quall Sr. in that number 31 Hulu Chevrolet, as they climb the banking here in 3 and 4. And here comes Dan Atkins. He's going to work to the inside of Brad Quall Sr. here, as they dive down here into 1 and 2. Now Joseph Nelson, he's starting to work on some traffic in front of him as well, as Dan Atkins continues to close in that gap. But Dan Atkins, he's going to run out of time. He's not going to be able to put that third place car a lap down as they continue to work their way past these lap down cars. The next up is going to be Jordan Martin in that number 13 Miller Lite uh, Ford Mustang. No harm, no foul. Got around him pretty quick. Nice and easy there. As they come out of turn number 4, they're going to have just 4 laps remaining. So 4 laps now here for Dan Atkins as he sets his eyes on putting third place of Joseph Nelson 1 lap down. And I'm pretty sure he is now going to drive his heart out just to be able to do that. As Jordan Martin in that number 13 machine, he has got himself a flat tire. So he's now going to have to come in down pit road to get that tire changed. As we have just 3 laps to go now for Dan Atkins. Less than a minute of racing remaining here today. As they come out of turn number 2 and they dive down into turn number 3. 2 laps to go this time by for Dan Atkins, and it is going to be possible. He is going to put Joseph Nelson 1 lap down as they dive down here into turn number 1. Nelson's going to give him plenty of room, but he's going to fight back on the outside as they now come through here through turns 3 and 4. Dan Atkins, he will see the white flag this time. Hard hit to the outside wall for Joseph Nelson, and that's going to allow Dan Atkins to put him 1 lap down as they come through 1 and 2 here for the final time. What an incredible run here as you see Joseph Nelson trying to take back that lap, but he's not going to be able to do it. And ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the Concrete 125 here at Dover is going to be none other than Dan Atkins in that number 91 Chevrolet. Dan Atkins led 121 laps, and there was only one other driver to lead those other 4, and that was the number 9 of Chris Roberge. Lucas Edwards now coming out of turns 3 and 4. He's going to slow up here on the front straightaway to meet up here with Dan Atkins. And here comes Chris Roberge. He's decided he's going to come join the party down here on the front stretch. And here comes Joseph Nelson joining the party on the front stretch here as well. Your top 3 doing burnt donuts out here on the front straightaway. Come get them while they're nice and hot. Dan Atkins, ladies and gentlemen, your race winner. As you have Keegan Browning still turning laps. He says, I'm going to make sure that yeah, we're going to make sure that we got that all here going. And let's come back here just a couple clicks. And we're going to slow it down here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what we can do about getting Joseph Nelson in that number 54 Toyota down here. Here we go. Joseph Nelson, this is Mike up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, what's up?
Alrighty, brother. So it took 125 laps for Dan Atkins to catch you.
Dude, did you see that? I was trying to stay on the lead lap.
Man, you were driving your heart out there that final lap. You had a decent run coming down into turn 3 that final lap, but unfortunately that outside line just has that much more speed coming out of the corners.
Yeah, well, first of all, I wanted to keep it, PG. I didn't want to wreck the leader, but I did want to stay on the lead lap. It was definitely a good race. I was able to manage my tires and kind of make the straightaway as long as I could. I'm glad it stayed clean. It was a fun one. I don't know what Dan's got in his car.
Dan has something else in his car. He is super wicked fast. He finished just
Yeah.
about 8 seconds in front of Lucas Edwards. So that's a very strong run, but very strong run for you as well in the number 54 M&M's Toyota. Before I let you out go today, do you have anybody you would like to thank?
Um, yeah, I'll give a shout out to my teammate Keegan Browning, man. We get in private sessions and practice a lot together. We help each other out a lot. So yeah, number 53, Keegan Browning.
Keegan Browning in that number 53 machine. He brought it home fifth. A good, strong finish for him today. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, Joseph Nelson, your third place finisher for tonight's event. Let's go ahead and bring down Lucas Edwards in that number 87 machine. Lucas, do you got a copy?
I've got a copy.
Lucas, you've had a very strong car all day. You were up top two, top three most of the day. How'd your car feel? Were you able to manage your tires? And what do you got to do to outrun Dan Atkins?
Absolutely did not save my tires enough. The car felt like a polished turd. Yeah, we were discussing that after the race. My tires were down to like 24%, while his was still in the 50s. I had nothing for him.
That is absolutely crazy. But another strong finish for you out here at Dover. Finished second. That lucky strike. Toyota's looking beautiful, keeping you lucky up on top, brother. You keep doing what you're doing. And before I let you go today, do you have anybody you would like to thank?
Well, my friends, if they're watching this week, I know there's normally at least one or two watching, so I'd like to thank them for doing that each week.
And I can confirm. Oh, we got people to yell at. Oh, wait. Natalie.
Oh no.
Natalie DS. Some good looking paint schemes on the track tonight. Oh, yeah, they got some sexy paint schemes on the track tonight. What are you talking about? Alrighty, Lucas. Congratulations on your second place finish, and we will see you next week, buddy.
All right, thank you. See you next week.
See ya. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Second place, Lucas Edwards in that number 87 machine. And let's go ahead and bring down the man of the hour, the driver of the number 91 Chevrolet, Dan Atkins.
What up?
I'm going to start having these conversations with you a week before just so that I could just play it at the end of the broadcast. So if you want to meet up, we could do it for the rest of the season if you would like.
Yeah, we can try to work something out. See what we can do.
Dan, what another incredible run for you here today. Man, you were just wicked fast. And what did you do? How'd you save your tires?
Um, well, I switched my offset so it comes with a preset of 10. So I changed mine. I went down on mine and I left it at 10 to 1. And really, it's just throttle control and the angles, the entry to the corners and stuff. I honestly didn't expect to be that fast. I figured Lucas or Cody or maybe even Jordan would have been up there. But yeah, that was a good race. I made up for last week.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Definitely made up for last week. Um, you were able to lap the whole field except Lucas, which is no surprise because Lucas has always been uh, one of your strongest enemies out here on track. Um, so, what are you looking forward to next week?
Five Flags is next week. I love that track.
Yes.
I'm hoping to just keep it rolling. I know me and Lucas, we race each other pretty hard and clean. We are teammates this season, so I'm hoping me and him can keep it rolling. But Chris there, he's due for a win, so I'm looking for Chris to bounce back next week too.
Absolutely. I was actually just talking to Chris earlier before the race started. He's got a win coming. It's just going to be a matter of time.
Oh,
So,
he's one of the ones I think any race we have, he's in the contention to win it for sure.
yep, absolutely. Alrighty, Dan, I will go ahead and let you get going. But before I do, is there anybody that you would like to thank today?
I want to thank Shoot the Shit Racing, FARS Racing, Fast Action Racing, and everybody that races with me on iRacing here.
Alrighty, Dan, we appreciate you. We'll see you next week at Five Flags. Congratulations once again on your victory here at Dover.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Atkins, driver of the number 91 Chevrolet. What an incredible race today. And before we do let you guys go, let's go ahead and take a look here at our final results. Your final results are as follow. Dan Atkins in that number 91 machine dominated with almost a 8-second lead on Lucas Edwards. Joseph Nelson in that number 54, he went one lap down right at the end of this race. Chris Roberge had a strong finish coming home fourth. Keegan Browning has a top of 5 here today at Dover. Brad Quall Sr., unfortunate tire go down. He had to come down pit road. Jeffrey Engel as well in that number 89 had a little bit of a tough run. Jordan Martin had a flat tire there with just about 4 laps remaining, and that will drop him all the way back to 8th. And then, as you guys saw, Cody Majoric in that number 74 with a heartbreak getting down onto pit road. Had a very strong car. He was running second at the time. So that was definitely very unfortunate there for Cody Majoric in that number 74 machine. Ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for us right here on the iCast Racing Network, powered by iRacing. Next week, we head over to Pensacola, Florida, and Five Flags Speedway for non-stop action at that beautiful short track, home of the Snowball Derby. We look forward to seeing you guys there, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, congratulations to Dan Atkins in that number 91 machine. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next week right here on the iCast Racing Network. And as always, happy time zones.
This has been a production of the iCast Racing Network powered by iRacing. Thank you for your continued support. Don't forget to like and subscribe for notifications for all of our live events right here on YouTube and Twitch. We would like to thank SDK Gaming for their production overlays that makes this event enjoyable. Until next time, happy time zones.